Hey Doc, welcome to this special online training event. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to join me here. And I think your practice financials are going to thank you for making time for this training. But they're only going to thank you if you actually pay attention to what I have to cover. So right now is a great time. Close out of your Facebook page, close out of Twitter, and don't worry, all those tweets are going to be there when we get done. Shut down your Skype, Messenger, close out of your email, put your phone away as well, all right? You don't need it right now. If you want this training to be effective, you need to give it your full attention. And if you don't, if you don't give it much attention, don't expect to get much back in return. Is that fair enough? All right. Well, here's what we're going to cover in this training. This training is all about getting your virtual endorsement from Google so you can get new patients from the internet. And with that being said, let me just start off here. I'm going to give you a really bold promise about this training. I am going to walk you step by step through the exact things you absolutely need to be doing today to get your virtual endorsement from Google so you can get new patients from the internet. And this is something that has evolved over the years, and so this is effective right now. And I'm not talking about creating a website, having a web presence. I'm talking about showing up in the search when new patients are searching for you as a chiropractor. They're searching for a chiropractor. I'm talking about you getting 8, 10, 15, even 25 calls every single week, all because Google has virtually endorsed you instead of your competitor. I'm even going to show you a couple of docs getting anywhere from 60 to 100 phone calls per month from these exact strategies. All right, this is going to deliver patients that are actively searching for your services, and when someone is actively searching for you, they come in pre-sold. All right, you don't have to convince them that chiropractic is right for them. They're already sold on it. They're looking for you. Now, you'll also realize that no other chiropractors are doing this stuff, unless they've already seen this training. These are high-level strategies that will allow you to dominate your area. Now, let me be real transparent with you as well. I'm not going to try and convince you that you need to be using these strategies, because really the truth is you either see the monumental shift that's happening online or you don't. All right, I refuse to sell you on the idea that the internet is evolving, all right, and that your practice, it must evolve with it as well if you want to thrive. But you have to know how to play by Google's rules or you risk really getting buried. Here's also how my trainings work. I deliver 100% content when I do my trainings, all right? I tell you exactly what you need to do and what I do for my members, so when this training is over, you can go out and you can take immediate action on it. And that's really, without action, all this is just useless information, all right? Google won't give you an endorsement without a little bit of work. But once this training is done, you'll have everything you need to get new patients from the internet and put more money in your bank account and grow your practice. You'll see exactly, like I said, what I do for my nonstop patient formula members, and you can literally copy and paste what I show you on this. Here's what I know as well. 10% of the chiropractors on this training will do everything that I show them, and they will do a phenomenal job, and they're going to increase their practice. 10%, you'll have me do everything for you. And of course, you're going to see a serious increase in your practice income, and you'll have a lot more free time to enjoy your family. Here's the sad stat. The other 80% of the chiropractors on this training will do absolutely nothing, and nothing's going to change for them. So I just pray that you're not in that 80%, all right? Because I want things to change for you. I want your practice to grow. I want your bank account to grow. I want you to have more time with your family because your practice is attracting patients from the internet all on autopilot, all right? All because you got this virtual Google endorsement, all right? So that's why I share everything with you. I don't want to keep the secrets to myself and only share with someone, who pays me money. And I know some gurus, they're going to give you a great sales pitch. They're going to make you an offer to buy their program that's going to teach you all their secrets. I share it all for free, all right? I only make money when you want me to do it all for you. But whatever you choose, it's your choice. We all make that choice that best fits us, all right? So for those of you that don't know who I am, let me give you a quick bio so you know who you're working with, whether or not you even want to listen to what I have to say. And if you've been with me for a while, or you've been on one of my other trainings, you can kind of block out the next 60, 120 seconds here because my story really hasn't changed. And my name is Dr. Jeff Uhrmacher. I live in Fort Myers, Florida. I've been married to the most best, amazing woman in the world for 8 years now. Her name is Stacy, as you can see right there. She's my best friend. She's always there for me. I also have 3 kids. Trey is 18. He's a freshman at the University of Nebraska. He's majoring in business. He is an entrepreneur. He's also a shift manager at Starbucks right now, but he's going to be giving up both college and Starbucks for an internship with Disney, which I'm pretty jacked for him. He's got a lot going on. Trinity is my extremely powerful and very independent 6-year-old. She loves gymnastics and dancing. She started soccer. But honestly, I pray for her future spouse because he will have his hands full. And then Isaiah, he's my baby boy. He's 4. He loves his sports. He just started soccer as well, scored 4 goals the other day. Loves Power Rangers, superheroes. His favorites are the Avengers. He just digs his superhero stuff. Myself, I graduated from Palmer in Davenport in October 2003. In January 2004, I bought my first practice in Aurora, Nebraska. It was a moderately successful practice when I bought it. So I was really looking forward to, cranking it up, living that whole wealthy chiropractor lifestyle, right? Yeah. Well, in comes my rude awakening. I found out in a hurry that just, hanging a shingle or even buying a practice and then taking good care of my patients wasn't enough to build a practice. All right. And my patients weren't always coming back when they were supposed to. On top of that, I didn't know how to get any new patients. You probably saw that. You don't learn any of that in school. So, with very few new patients coming in and my current patients not returning, I went from $25,000 a month. I was barely scraping by. I mean, I honestly remember having $900 in my business bank account and probably even less in my personal. And so, that's when I figured it was time to get in gear. I had to figure out this practice building thing. After checking out lots of different consultants, gurus, I stumbled across Dan Kennedy. And if you're familiar with Dan, he's the real thing. I mean, he is the guru to the gurus. So I started following Dan's recommendations about getting new patients, retaining patients, and getting patients to spend more with me. All right, so that sounds like that, typical pay, stay, and refer, right? And it worked. Within 6 months, I had a 7-figure practice. And I want you to listen to this. I was doing it in a small town of only 4,200 people. 6 months later, I opened a second practice about 20 miles away, and it was profitable in the first 90 days. And then not too long later, May 2005, I opened my third practice. It was about, I'm guessing it's an hour away, and it was profitable before I even opened the doors. Crazy, right? Yeah, I borrowed an exam room from a colleague, and I had patients prepaying for care before the build-out on my practice was even finished. So, flash forward to 2007. That's when I started doing some consulting for a handful of doctors, and that's branched out to as many as just over 14,000 at one point. Now I'm a little more focused on bigger projects, and I just work with fewer doctors on bigger things for each of those, and really enjoy it. So that's me there. Let's get rolling with this. I put together a couple slides because I want to make sure you understand what's happened in the last few years, and really more importantly, what's about to happen over the next 12 months, because most chiropractors, they didn't see any of this happen, and they certainly don't know what's about to hit them square in the face when it comes to getting new patients in the future. But television, magazines, radio, newspaper, they've all plummeted by double digits in the last few years. And I think most chiropractors realize that the market has gone online. The problem is most can't figure out how to get a return online. They can't figure out how to get those patients online. And it can be a very difficult thing if you don't know what you're doing and you don't keep up with the constant changes. So, how do you make a splash online when it comes to getting new patients? Well, the first thing you need to look at is what kind of marketing do you want to do? I'm going to tell you the easiest and most effective marketing you can do, and that's inbound marketing. So inbound marketing is attracting someone that is already looking for you. Compare that to outbound marketing. Outbound marketing is going out and soliciting someone and trying to convince them that they need your service. All right, which one do you think is more effective and more efficient? Well, yeah, absolutely, inbound marketing. When someone's already looking for you, they already have or already want what you have. Then you simply show up where they're looking, and you have to look better than your competitor when they find you. And that's pretty easy, right? Just show up when patients are looking and get them to choose you over your competitor. Yeah, that's it. That's your training. That's all you have to do. All right, I'm obviously kidding. That's not the end. But that's what I'm going to show you. And if you're asking yourself, why Google? And the other question maybe, how do I get this virtual endorsement from Google? Here's why and here's how. Google gets over 66% of all the searches on the internet. And Google has been putting and is currently putting a crazy amount of emphasis on the local businesses, and that's you, right? Small businesses. Even more, Yahoo, who is a very, very distant second in this whole search race, they recently said that they're not going to challenge Google for the local businesses. So you want to go where your prospective patients are already searching. Now the next thing, how do you get this virtual endorsement? Well, it's real simple. You show up number one in Google search. Let me just show you here the results of a survey, and you'll notice as well, all these strategies are based on stats, because I am very opinionated, but you know what? Opinions won't make you more money, only results. So I base all my strategies around these results. Now take a look at this. People were asked, does seeing a company listed at the top of a search make you think that that company is a leader in its field? So if they see you at the top of the search, do they feel you're a leader as a chiropractor? 39% of those people said yes. Being number one gives you more credibility. All right? So how do you go about getting the number one spot in Google? And I'm talking about Google on a local basis because you're a local business. I mean, you don't need to worry about anything outside of your local drawing area, right? Well, there's really three ways because there's essentially three number ones in a Google local search. You can buy your way to number one, and you can do that by using pay-per-click ads. And that's this listing right here. Let me grab my pen for you. What you're going to see, these are the paid ads. These are the paid ads. And this is going to be that number one paid ad right there. All right? And you can see if you show up there, you're going to get 11% of all the clicks from any given search. So maybe you have 1,000 patients a month searching for a chiropractor in your town, whatever that is. Essentially, 110 of those will click on that top ad. I mean, that's a pretty good number, right? But you also pay every time someone clicks on that ad, and that can vary depending on how good your ad is and how good your landing pages, where they end up, are. I mean, that's a whole science of its own. Now, the other two ways, the other that you have to work for to get to those number one. So let me explain these other two types. One is your traditional organic listing in Google. That's a non-paid listing. The chiropractor with the best SEO wins. And if you're not familiar with SEO, it simply stands for search engine optimization. This simply means that when someone searches for a term on the internet, the chiropractor with the best SEO wins, and you show up at the top of Google. So if you show up here, let me just hit these. This is going to be your traditional Google organic. And this is going to be your number one spot in that search. So if you show up there, number one, you're going to get about 3% of the clicks. This is on a local. Remember that. That's that listing. That's not a very big number, especially with the amount of work that it takes to get there. But that's the old way of ranking in Google for chiropractors. So do you want to see the final number one? Again, there's three essentially number ones. The final number one here that beats them both. This way of ranking number one is more powerful than the first two ways combined. And I'm not talking about a little bit. I'm talking about by a mile. It really just blows them away. So the third way of ranking is right here. Google Plus Local. This used to be Google Maps and it changed to Google Places. Now it's Google Plus Local, and actually it's currently changing to Google Places for Business. All right, so you really have to keep up with Google. Let me just circle on that spot. That is, obviously, this is the maps right here. Now, the number of listings varies. A lot of times they'll put 7 in here, but this one right here is that number 1 spot. All right, take a look at that number. Statistically speaking, here it is. If you're in the top listings in Google Plus Local, your business grows. But if you're in that number 1 spot, you can literally explode because you get 39% of all the business. All right, that right there is a statistical fact. So take a look at the screen right now. Tell me, I'm going to get rid of this. Where do you want to be listed? Do you want to be right here in the number 1 in the traditional organic search? Do you want to be up here in the number 1 paid? Not a bad spot. Or do you want to be right here in that number 1 spot in the Google Plus Local search? Yeah, it's sad though. Every other company is trying to put you right here. I mean, does that make any sense? Do you want to be listed in the paid listings? Again, that can be a pretty good spot, 11%. You can get more clicks, you can scale your efforts, not bad. But it's really clear where you want to be. You want to be in this number 1 spot in Google Plus Local. Like I said, shift into Google Plus Business. Because when you're number 1, that's like Google endorsing you because your prospects feel like you're a leading chiropractor. That means you have instant credibility. And so listen real close here. I don't care how good you are at Facebook or Twitter or any other social media. I don't care how good your website and your blogging are. You will never beat me unless you are in Google Plus Local search for inbound marketing. You'll never beat Google Plus Local in this inbound marketing game. All right, so let me prove to you why Google Plus Local is so important. So what I did, let me just get off here. Okay, what I did, I grabbed a heat map. And a heat map is simply a map that actually shows exactly where people look. Look at where everyone's eyes are. Do you see that? The sunburst area is where people are looking. The number 1 spot on the Google Plus Local. They're looking at Google Plus Local listings, these maps. So I'm going to ask you again, where do you want to be? Do you want to be down here with the other organics? Do you want to be up here in any paid? Or do you want to be here? Look at where everyone's looking. Yeah, that's where I want to be right there. And again, understand this. This Google Plus Local is a local marketing strategy. I mean, it's really clear. It's a huge shift in the marketplace for your practice. And this shift actually started about 3 years ago and has evolved. And it's only just getting bigger. I mean, in the doctors that started with me 3 years ago, they can't be touched by their competitors. So it's not a national or a global strategy. And just about everyone else is trying to get your website ranked. And they don't even know that your Google Plus Local page has 20 times the value. They're stuck on these outdated rankings that don't work in the local marketing landscape. So here's what it looks like. If you want your phone ringing, you need to be in the top spot in Google Plus Local because you get 39% of the clicks from search. That's more than all the organic and paid search combined. All right, so where do you want to be again? Yeah, you want to be in number 1 in Google Plus Local. Now, before we go any further, I want to answer a question that has, for some reason, I still get this question. And the question is, are new patients really looking for a chiropractor online? You know, I'm surprised I still get this question, but I do. So let me just jump off my slides here. I'm going to take you on the internet, and this will probably blow you away when you see this, when you see these numbers. So take a look at this. Okay, so this is Google's keyword tool. I mean, this is a free tool. It tells you how many people are searching for particular terms on Google. You know, all kinds of terms. Obviously, you want to know, though, about terms that new patients are using. I simply put in the most generic keyword here for chiropractor. Look at how many searches come up on a monthly basis. I used chiropractor Atlanta. And just for the one keyword, and I'll circle that here for you. Monthly searches, 480. All right, and look at that. It's a local search term. They're actually looking for a chiropractor in Atlanta. I mean, that's a pretty amazing number. Most of you don't need that many new patients each month, right? But if you could get your share of those searches, do you think your practice would grow? Do you think if you had 39% of those, do you think that your practice would go? Right? Do you think you could get maybe an extra 15, 20 phone calls? Now, do you see why my nonstop patient formula members are growing by 50, 100, even 200%? And that's only for one search term for Chiropractor Atlanta. I mean, chiropractic has dozens of keywords that you have to be aware of. And if you know what they are, you can rank for them. So take a look at some of these additional keywords here that, again, just all revolved around Atlanta. You can do your own search, chiropractor in Atlanta, Atlanta chiropractor, 590. All right, and this is also going to help you out with the pay-per-click. So herein lies the difference. And again, you have to have a Google account to see this. Sign up for it. It's, a free account for it. You don't even have to do any pay-per-click to do it. But look at these suggested bids. This is the suggested bid that if you were in that #1 position or any of the positions in Google for Chiropractor Atlanta in the paid, they want you to bid $13.92. So every time someone simply clicked on that paid ad, you're going to pay almost $14. $10.49. All right, $12.33. These are extremely relevant. All right, so they're probably a pretty good click. But the next thing is, where do they end up? Your landing page has to be extremely effective at that point too. When you're the #1 spot in Google plus local and you get those clicks, you don't pay per click. All right, you have to do some work to get there, obviously. And in Atlanta, you're probably going to have a pretty big challenge because there's a lot of chiropractors. Follow these steps and your challenge gets a lot easier because most of the chiropractors aren't doing this. Like I said, most are trying to handle getting the website ranked and not the Google plus local page. All right, so some tremendous numbers here in the Atlanta area. But if you're in a smaller city, again, it's really proportionate to the number of people in your city. So you just look at the population of Atlanta and look at these numbers. Now, look at the population in your city. Simply do the math, all right? You'll have a great idea then if it's not showing it. Some of these smaller cities don't always show very small numbers, but you can see they're getting a lot better. But simply do the math. You're going to have a great idea how many people are searching for those keywords each and every month. All right, so these are pretty astounding numbers, and I just proves to you that, take a look at this, people are searching for a chiropractor on the internet. All right, these are just a handful of those terms. Okay, and that just keeps on going down there, gets into some generic numbers, but Marietta, obviously a suburb, Atlanta Spine Center, something in particular, Chiropractic Atlanta, Sandy Springs. So lots of people are online looking for a chiropractor. All right, so no more questions on that one. People are looking for you. Now let's take a look at what really works. We know if you're in the top spot in Google plus local, your phone rings. All right, and your practice just literally explodes with these numbers. All right, so I bet you want to know how to get #1 in Google plus local right now, right? Well, you're in the right place. That's what this is about. So here's your strategy, and this is insider knowledge. Step 1, you need to go claim your Google plus local listing. All right, Google is the biggest aggregator of information on the planet. And what they've done is they've given you a listing on Google plus local absolutely free of charge. All right, it's probably already there. So you need to go claim that listing. And if you have any questions on a lot of these things, but if you have questions on how to claim your listing, shoot me an email because I have a separate tutorial that's going to walk you through claiming that. Actually, I have 2 tutorials because Google's, they're always changing things. So there are 2 types of listings out there right now. And I don't want this to get bogged down with the technical aspect and confuse you. I want to keep you on the strategy of it. All right. So about half of my nonstop patient members, they have this listing right here, okay? This is a listing that's been around for the last, actually, no, what, this one isn't. This one right here. It's been around for about the last year and a half. Google is converting this type of listing into this one right here, all right? This is the new Google Plus, or Google Places for Business. I got to keep all these names straight. But not everyone's converted over to it yet, all right? It'll probably be, several more months before it actually happens. So you need to go in, you need to claim that listing. Next, you need to start out with a really good foundational keyword analysis and a competitive research. This is what I was talking about earlier when it comes to finding the keywords that your patients are actually searching for in your area, all right? Don't always think that the words you use are the words that your patients use, because most of the time, they're not the same words. All right, so when you do keyword research and you actually look at the words that are on that page, on Google's page, you can combine different keywords, and it's going to be helping with you with that. You can combine those keywords together so that you can rank not just for 1 or 2 keywords, but 5, even 10 keywords in Google Plus Local. All right, now keyword research is really it's a vital part of this entire process. All right? So if you screw this up, all the other work that I'm going to show you, it won't work like it's supposed to. All right, so take the time, go through this, make sure you get your keyword research done correctly. All right, it can be time consuming, it can take work, it's worth it. All right, you only have to really do it once. Unless you're going to start shooting for something different. But in local search, you really only have to do it once. I can't stress that enough for you. I actually recommend you pay a service to do this. I don't do it myself, all right? I pay someone to do it. It's not a great use of my time. I can pay someone, I think it's probably about $100. They do a crazy good job, all right? If you want my resource on this one, again, shoot me an email. I'll give you the details. They can do yours. It's a service. They just do that. So now let's talk about competitive research. In competitive research, sometimes it's not about what you do. It's just about doing more than what your competitors are doing. All right? So knowing what your competitors are doing in those #1 spots already, it's vital for knowing how to dominate them. All right? If you have everything they have and then you do just 20% more, well, you're going to crush them. All right? I have a resource for this as well, all right? And to be really honest, maybe this will surprise, maybe it won't. I don't physically do any of this actual legwork that I'm showing you. I simply know the strategy that works. I keep up with the changes, that Google makes, and then I hire people that are good in each of these individual strategies because it takes a lot of time and energy for all this to happen, all right? So that's just me being transparent with you. Now, the next thing you want to do is, if this is lined up here, this is your Google Plus Local listing, the next thing you want to do is optimize your practice website. All right, so you take the keywords that you discovered in your research, and then you carefully craft them into the words on your website. That way your website is relevant to the content that your prospect is looking for. It shouldn't be a challenge. It's chiropractor, right? It's chiropractor in your town. Google wants to see relevant keywords on your website that is attached to your Google Plus Local listing. All right? So you don't want to try and cram all the keywords into your homepage, okay? I've seen that mistake before. Just make sure that your top few, 5 keywords and then some of your secondary keywords are on your homepage. All right? Optimization. It should also include, your title tags, your meta tags, a sitemap, etc., stuff like that. If you don't understand that, again, there's tutorials out there, but again, I recommend you just pay someone to do it. So let me show you what Google does. Let me get my pen back out here. Okay, so this is Google. All right, this is part of how they determine where you're going to rank when someone searches for one of your keywords. Google, let's say someone searches for chiropractor in your town. Google goes into your Google Plus Local listing, and it's going to look at your name, it's going to look at your address, and it's going to look at your phone number. All right? And also, what do you get to do in your Google listing is you got to put your website in there. So what does Google do? It comes into here, it grabs your URL, it goes out to your website. This is your website right here. It looks around then and it says, all right, here's the keyword that that person was looking for. It sees the keyword, says, okay, there's the keyword. This listing then matches what the person's looking for. Now you have a chance of getting promoted to the top. That's the first thing that happens. All right, any aha moments here about Google and maybe why some chiropractors rank and others don't? Well, for one, it's because they haven't claimed their listing and they haven't optimized their website. All right, so now maybe before I go any further, I should teach you 3 phrases. These are really important. First phrase, on-page optimization. When I say that, I'm simply talking about the words on the page. On the Google Plus local page, the words on the pages of your website, it's the words on the page. When I say off-page optimization, I'm talking about anything that we optimize that's not on the page. All right, so off-page optimization are all the things that related to your website, your Google Plus local listing that affect the rankings. This includes backlinks in off-page optimization. All right, so when I say on-page optimization, those are the words on the page. Off-page is basically everything else. All right, now I've got one more term I want you to know. This is the foundation of Google Plus local pages that so many people have no idea, all right? And it's called a citation. A citation is simply, like I showed you here, the name, address, and phone number on your Google Plus local listing, all right? So it's your practice name, practice address, and practice phone number. Now, that's line for line, word for word, dot for dot, all right? Don't ever mess that up. So whenever you hear me say citation, that means name, address, phone number. And I'll give you a quick backdrop on this because this may confuse people that maybe that already know SEO, but it may confuse you too if you're new to SEO. But the way most people try and rank in Google is they get more backlinks than the next guy. All right, this would be the traditional SEO, the traditional organic that I showed you before. And a backlink is simply a link from another website to your website. It's like a vote. And so if you have 1,000 backlinks and you have 1,000 votes, and if your competition has 100 backlinks to their site, well, they only have 100 votes, all right? So if you have 1,000 and they have 100, you win. You rank higher most of the time. If your competition obviously has 2,000 and you only have 1,000, well, then they're going to rank higher. Now, there are also high quality backlinks that are worth more, so it's not always about number of backlinks, but then there's also the power and the quality of backlink. But that's the basic backdrop on that. In Google Plus Local, there are no backlinks, all right? Google Plus Local uses your citation as a vote. So what Google does, it looks all over the internet for your name, address, and phone number in that order. It looks for that citation. And when it sees your name, address, phone number, whether it's in Bing, in Yahoo, in City Search, in Yellow Pages, I mean, there's hundreds of other places, Google counts it just like a backlink for your Google Plus local listing. So the more citations you have out there, the more Google looks at your listing as an authority because it sees your Google Plus local listing citation everywhere. Okay, does that make sense? So when Google goes to your Google Plus local listing, does it see your top keywords in the listing? All right, that's your first on-page optimization. Does Google see lots of citations on the main local listing sites? All right, those are votes for your listing. Then Google goes to your website. Do they see your keywords on your homepage? And then Google looks for those backlinks. Do you have more backlinks than your competitor? And do you have high quality backlinks from other authority sites? And of course, do you have relative backlinks? All right, can you see why my members continue to dominate the top spot in Google Plus Local? Because very few people know those additional few strategies that you need to add in there. And I mean, that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg here of why some chiropractors rank and some don't. So let me clear this off and let's keep this rolling. The next thing you want to do is, like I talked, you want to optimize your local directories. Now again, when I say local directory, I'm talking about Bing, Yahoo, City Search, Yellow Pages, a whole bunch more others out there as well. Because Google is looking for that citation. So you take all the information exactly the way you have it in your Google Plus local, and you put it in those local directories. Again, line for line, word for word, dot for dot. It's the same information. All right. Now, as a nice little bonus, you can often get these local directories because they have a lot of authority already. You can get them ranked on the first page of Google. All right. So it's a bonus. I mean, those additional clicks coming to your listings, no one's going to argue with those, right? And so a lot of my members have additional listings on page 1 on top of their Google Plus local listing. So let's take a look at it again, what it does here. Get my pen for you. Here is Google, all right? Google now goes into this local directory for a search, just like it went into your own, and it sees the name, it sees the address, and it sees the phone number, okay? And it says, okay, I see that name, address, phone number, that's a match. We connect them, and that's authority. All right, but what else do they do in these directories to give you more? They ask for your website, right? Right there. So Google takes a look, and now it goes into your website. What's it going to do when that, and again, this is for those additional rankings, getting these pages ranked. It says, I see the keywords. I see the keywords there. I see those secondary keywords. Now let's go look at those backlinks that are coming in. These votes. There's a backlink. There's a backlink. There's a backlink. All right. They're going to see from all these backlinks. There's a citation, name, address, phone number. All right. Do you see this? Do you see what's going on here? Everywhere Google goes, it's like I'm putting them in a headlock. All right. I'm forcing them to see how good you are. And really, I'm just treating Google like a VIP customer. I mean, I'm just giving them first-class content experience. And in return, though, they'll promote you to the top, giving you that coveted virtual endorsement. So you get more new patients, you get more clicks, you get more credibility, you get more authority. All right? And so let me explain what a first-class content experience is, because the next thing you want to do is video marketing. All right? Now, odd questions here, but do you know how many Googles gives you that you can use inside your listing? And again, part of this is changing right now. The old, I don't know if it's old or current or how exactly they do it, but the new Google Places for Business doesn't ask for videos exactly like this. But the old listing, you get 5 videos. So, you know what? We don't do 1 video. We don't do 2 videos. We do all 5 of them. And Google sees a tremendous amount of content, and Google loves content. And really, what Google loves is they love relative content. So, you want to make sure you use your keywords to properly optimize your videos as well, because Google's going to do the same thing. They're going to find the video. They'll take a look for the citation, the name, address, phone number. You'll also put your website in the description in that video. So Google's going to look at your website for a match. They'll see your keywords, then they'll look for backlinks. When all that looks good, they see you as an authority and you rank higher. All right? So now, with your videos, aside from all the other places, you should put all your videos originally on your own YouTube channel. Google owns YouTube, and YouTube has a really high PR rank, so it's an authority site. And having links from that authority site into your Google Plus, into your website, it's going to get you ranked better. And Google's going to find them much easier. They look at their own stuff first. All right, so now you can get your own YouTube channel for free as well. All the stuff with Google like that's free. And really, when you look at these videos, the easiest and best videos to use in your listings are patient testimonials. All right, so you can start getting those today, all right, and put them into your listing. I do have, yes, another tutorial about how to optimize your videos for local search. Super easy and super effective. You can get these videos ranked on the first page and get some clicks out of those, all right? So shoot me an email if you want the tutorial on that one, the exact link for it, all right? Then you move on, you have pictures. And picture marketing is the same as video marketing, but you get 10 pictures, okay? Now, again, that's changing a little bit, and they're actually allowing more pictures. But, so don't just use 1 or 2. If you're in the old listing, use all 10, all right? Make sure you optimize your pictures before you upload them to your listing, All right? You want the title of the picture to reflect your keywords and your categories in your Google Plus local listing. And yes, I do have a tutorial for this. Let me know. All right? Now, after you've got all that set up here, you move on to what's really becoming a very important part of this entire process, a really important process: online reviews. Now, I'm going to spend a decent amount of time on reviews here. I can't tell you how important they can be for your practice as a whole, because you can do all the other things right, and if you mess up on reviews, really, honestly, good luck getting people to even call you, even if you rank well, because they might click, but there's more to it. So let me start by asking you a question here. Would you buy a product or service that has bad ratings and bad reviews? Well, probably not, right? I mean, because you and I, no one wants to have that same bad experience that someone else had. So we look at reviews as the indicator of how we might experience that product or service, all right? But here's the more important question, all right? You got two products that are identical, right? One has 10 good reviews, the other has 3 good reviews, but maybe 1 bad review. Well, which product do you buy? Yeah, that's pretty obvious. I mean, you buy the one that has 10 good reviews if that's what you have to go off of. And why is that? Again, because you don't want to have you want to have a great experience. You don't want to have that bad experience. You're looking to make sure that the company that you're looking at with these reviews, you want to make sure they're consistent with delivering that experience with that product or service. So this is what consumers and patients do every single day. They go online. They're looking to find the most reputable chiropractor to do business with. And bad reviews will send that patient from your online listing, they're going to send it to their competitor that has better reviews. So that's the difference between your phone ringing or your competitor, right? So with that, we know what can happen with a negative reputation. But let's take a look and talk about some positive things. First of all, reviews send you pre-qualified, pre-sold patients. Because look at this, buyers trust reviews nearly as much as personal recommendations, all right? So reviews can be incredibly bad for you if they're bad, but they can be incredibly good for you if they're good. And let's look at this stat here from Bright Local. 72% of buyers trust reviews as much as a personal recommendation. All right. So if I was to ask 100 different, you know what, let me just ask you this question. Would you like to create a marketing plan around people that don't know you, don't like you, don't trust you, and they're always worried about price? Or would you rather create a marketing plan around people that know you, people that like you, people that trust you, and they're all referrals? Yeah, of course, you want to create a referral plan. Who doesn't, right? That's the best patient. And for the first time, your external marketing now with Google Plus Local, all across the board, not just Google Plus Local, it can be just as powerful as referral marketing, because 3 out of 4 people trust reviews just as much as personal recommendations. So you need those 5-star reviews on your website. You need 5-star reviews on your listings, right? Because really that's as good as someone's mother saying, you should go see this chiropractor. That's as good as someone, a best friend maybe, saying, you know what? You should see this chiropractor. I used him. He was amazing. And that's the same thing as a colleague at work saying, look, if you need a chiropractor, you should see Dr. Jones. He does a great job. Because 72% of buyers trust reviews just as much as personal recommendations. So I want to go even a little bit deeper here on this fact. I told you I was going to hit it because it's super important. And this is a big game changer online here. Nielsen's rating, all right? They're one of the top rating companies in the world. They did a little survey and they said, look, when it comes to the extent that you trust different forms of advertising, which ones do you trust? All right, 92% of people trust recommendations from people they know. All right, we pretty much expected that one, right? But here's the big one. Look at the one right under that. 70% trust opinions based on online reviews. This is huge for you, all right? Even better, look at this. They actually trust consumer opinions online that are posted online more than an editorial newspaper or article. I mean, you could actually have a newspaper article written about you, and people will not trust that as much as an online review. So you can see all right here, all the evidence points to how important these reviews are. So if you're going to do any type of marketing with your practice, it shouldn't start with the type of marketing that people don't trust, like TV ads, 47%, or email marketing at 50%, even a branded website marketing at 58%. It should start with the top 2 recommendations from people that from people that you know, and these consumer opinions posted online. Okay? All right. How about another reason why reviews are so vital to your office? All right, these online reviews. Because patients look up an average of, I mean, these are prospects, right? They look up an average of 10 reviews before making a decision. So all these consumers are out there online and they're looking for reviews. And more importantly, they're looking at multiple reviews, not just 1 or 2. So this stat tells you something. This is the secret mystery. You know, how many reviews do you actually need to be credible? Well, here it is. 70% of consumers trust a business with a minimum of 6 to 10 reviews. So you can see here that if patients are looking for 6 to 10 reviews, you need to have at least 10 reviews. All right, you're not credible without 5-star reviews and a minimum of 10 reviews. This is the difference, again, between your phone ringing and it not ringing, or difference between your phone not ringing and your competitor's phone ringing instead. You don't want the hack down the street getting your calls. Okay? Looking at this too, here's been the biggest problem with getting reviews on Google. It's not that a few of your patients wouldn't be more than happy going over to your listing, you know, give you a positive review. The problem is getting those reviews to stick. Google has gone through so many changes over the last several months and over the last year. Reviews are getting removed from your listing. All right, who knows why? There can be all kinds of excuses. They're also getting marked as spam, any new ones, and then they're just plain not showing up. So here's the quick and dirty way to get your reviews approved so they show up and stick. First of all, don't post them from your office unless you're using what's called an IP switching software. You can Google that. If you want a resource I use, let me know. When Google sees more than one review coming from the same IP address, they'll more than likely mark it as spam. All right, it's never going to see the light of day. You used to be able to have patients post reviews from your office and you'd be just fine. Well, that's not anymore. Okay. Another rule, if your patient doesn't have a Google account that they use, you know, on a regular basis, and they set up a new one just to post the review, that review will probably get marked as spam. You know, if they go home and create that account and then post a review, probably not going to get listed. So make sure they use the account and they post the reviews, maybe to a few other businesses as well that they frequent, because if you post reviews for several businesses over the course, you know, maybe over a few weeks, they're going to stick better. So, you know, you might have to talk to your patients about using this. It's a little bit of work, but man, I'm telling you how important it is. Another rule of thumb too, you want to follow. Don't get too many reviews all at once. And I know that's crazy, right? You try and tell your patients to go give you a review, but when Google sees lots of reviews coming in all at once, they see it as spam and they're going to delete it. All right, this is different for different businesses, but for chiropractors and doctors in general, they're going to mark it as spam. They're going to delete it. All right, and I told you at the beginning of this, you need to play by Google's rules, and that's where it's coming into play. So I shoot for my clients. It's just kind of been the golden rule. I shoot for 1 review per week on Google for all of my nonstop patient members. Don't try and slam your way to the top of Google Plus Local or Google at all, all right? Take your time, do these things right. Now, another way to market these reviews too, put them on your website, all right? Do you have right now reviews on the front page of your website? I mean, so when someone shows up to your website, they're converted quickly. They're going to pick up the phone and call you because you have undeniable social proof that I've been talking about. Now, what about your social media? I mean, everyone talks about social media, but no one really uses it to convert prospects into patients until now. Because when you're using reputation marketing in your social media, it's incredibly powerful. And then, of course, you have your in-office marketing. You can literally double your closing rates by having reviews and testimonials posted throughout your entire office. I mean, just imagine this. Picture this. A new patient walks into your office and they see happy patient reviews everywhere they look. Now, remember, statistically speaking, that's nearly as powerful as having their best friend, family member, or colleague at work recommending your services to that patient. So you're going to be able to convert a lot more patients if you have great reviews. All right, let's move on here. I mean, I could talk about social proof and conversion for hours. But the next thing you want to do is you want to backlink 3 areas, your backlink strategy: your videos, your website, and your top local directories. Not all of them, just pick 5 to 7 of your top local directories. So when it comes to backlinking now, again, that's getting a link from another website to your site. I like to use article marketing as one of my primary sources for backlinks, because you can simply write an original article that is relevant to your keywords, and then you just submit it to thousands of different article directories and different blogs on the internet. And when they get accepted, then you get a backlink. All right? So just make sure your content is original. I mean, don't go copy something, and make sure it's relevant. Now, another great way to backlink is to create those new testimonial videos on a regular basis. You can take those then, you can upload them to all the different video sharing sites, especially YouTube on your channel. All right, make sure you put it there first. Then you simply put your website in the description, and when your video is accepted, you get another backlink. All right, like I mentioned earlier, you should also, with the social media, you should also share these on your social sites like Facebook. Okay? You can use both of these strategies to get citations as well, because you need to keep getting citations and backlinks as long as you want to stay ranked. All right? You need to keep getting votes for rankings to stay high, because if your competitor all of a sudden gets more votes, well, they could bump you out of the top spot if they're doing some of these other things. Okay? Now, let me back up for just a minute here. Because here's what I felt was really a difficult thing for me when I was growing my 3 practices, and then even when I went from practice to just strictly consulting. I would attend webinars, I would go to trainings, I would fly into these weekend seminars, I'd have all this really good stuff from all these different trainings. And when I got home, it was like a box full of puzzle pieces. So, I'd get a piece from this webinar, I'd grab a different piece from a different training or a seminar, and I'd try and put it all together, and it was really difficult. I mean, I was always missing something. I never had a picture of the puzzle, like what you see on the box. And for some of you, you've never seen the picture on the box of what your online marketing should look like for your practice, And right now, for the first time, that's what I'm showing you right now. This screen is exactly what the picture of your online marketing should look like. You do this right here, you're going to dominate your area online in this inbound marketing game. You'll dominate the top of Google Plus Local no matter where you are. I don't care, no matter what city you're in, no matter what state you're in. You're also going to rank your website, your videos, your local directories at the top of Google. I mean, we're just giving Google that first-class content experience. With that, how could your business not grow? All right, is this making sense? This is the power of Google Plus Local, and no one else is doing it. And so now you know how to rank at the top of Google Plus Local. And my members I've had as many as 9 of the listings on page 1 of Google for a keyword for a doctor, for his main keyword, as many as 9 of those listings. How can his business not grow? All right, people have no choice but to click on his stuff. But let me share a little secret with you. My private clients, they don't pay me to get them ranked at the top of Google Plus Local. You know why? Because there's a difference between ranking and converting. Now, I mentioned this a little bit ago. You can get ranked at the top and no one will actually pick up the phone and call you. All right? You want to know what my private docs pay me for? They pay for their phone to ring. So I grabbed one of my doctors. This is his phone tracking for 1 month. And this is a doctor in a city about 225,000 people. And look at this. 91 phone calls. All right, 91 new patient calls in 1 month from the Google Plus local marketing strategies I just showed you. All right, now, don't let this fool you, all right? Because phone calls, they can be a little deceiving too. So look at this. The average call duration is 1.9 minutes, all right? That's almost 2 minutes on the phone. These are actual people on the phone with his receptionist scheduling an appointment. They're on the phone with him an average of 1.9 minutes, okay? These are real deal. Here's a picture of his last 3 months. 338 phone calls from the strategies we just went through. And let me remind you again, these calls are only calls from the Google Plus local marketing we do for this doctor. All right? No paid marketing, nothing else. These calls are coming through his private tracking number. These aren't calls to his normal office number. Here's another office. This office, much smaller city, only like 55,000 people. He got 70 new patient phone calls in 1 month from these strategies. All right, there's one. Here's a picture of his last 3 months. 181 phone calls from the online marketing strategies I just showed you. Now, most chiropractors wouldn't even know what to do with that many phone calls. Okay, now let me give you a little disclaimer too, in complete transparency. This is a well-established account for this doctor. Okay, don't think you'll get 50 to 100 phone calls in your first month unless you're already ranked or really high and you change a few things. All right, so these strategies, they do take some time to implement correctly. Like I said before, don't let anyone try and slam you to the top of Google in the first 30 days. That's the fastest way to get blacklisted by Google. Okay, so you need to get ranked first. Then you need to make sure that your Google Plus page, your website, your directories, your videos, you need to make sure they actually convert and get your prospective patient to pick up the phone and call you. Okay? That right there, that's your online strategy. At this point, we're going to jump right into it. You have 4 choices, all right? Number 1, you can tell me you're not going to do any of this, all right? You leave the training, you go on about your day. Do nothing at all, nothing's going to change. Your choice, all right? Those people are probably already gone. They probably didn't stick with us through the whole training. Number 2, you can do it all yourself, all right? Now, personally, I don't think that's the best use of your time. I mean, you're probably looking at 10 to 12 hours a week to get all of this done. Probably not. That's on an ongoing. Your upfront's going to take you more than that, all right? Now, not to mention, there's costs associated with all of that, even on my end when I have my team do it. I don't think maybe you'd enjoy the learning curve that comes with it or keeping up with the monthly changes in Google. You got to follow a lot of people that are a lot smarter than me to keep on the pulse of it. Number 3, though, you can find some outsourcers. There's Elance, there's Odesk, there's Fiverr, and you can manage the day-to-day of all these strategies getting done. And obviously, that's better than options number 1 and number 2. But again, I think you'd get awfully tired of managing half a dozen outsourcers and making sure that they're following your instructions correctly. All of this, too, I mean, you have patients to treat. You're managing your own regular staff, right? Now, and don't get me wrong, you can do all the stuff that I do. There's nothing magical about what I do, and you're highly educated. If you want to learn all this stuff and do it, you certainly can. But here's the difference. I do this every day for a living, all right? I've been doing this since the inception of Google Maps. I've been through the transition to Google Places. I've been through the transition to Google Plus Local, and now I'm moving and going through the transition to Google Places for Business. I also don't have to take care of patients during the day. I don't have to deal with staff on a day-to-day. This is what I do, all right? So that brings me to option number 4. You can put your Google Plus Local practice building into my hands with the nonstop patient formula, all right? You can have me do it all for you. And to be honest, I think that's your best option. And it's not because I get paid. I just think the best use of your time is treating patients. It's not creating videos and pictures. It's not managing the online directories, not creating more citations each week, all right? It's not trying to get quality, relevant backlinks each and every week, all right? And it's certainly not trying to keep up with the changes that Google and the online space goes through every single month, all right? So if you're saying to yourself, I know I need to get all this done. I know I need this virtual endorsement from Google, all right? If I even want to survive in the online world, I have to get all this done. But I really don't want to spend my time trying to figure it out and do all the online marketing. I'd rather have you, Dr. Uhrmacher, do this for me so I know it gets done correctly, so I can spend more time with my family, my hobbies, my friends, my kids. Let me tell you what I do for my Nonstop Patient Formula members, all right? Then I'll make this a really no-brainer for you. Here's what I do for my doctors, and what I'll do for you, obviously, when you become a new member of the Nonstop Patient Formula. And I'm also going to tell you, I got a couple of ridiculous bonuses I was thinking about before this. I have those bonuses, though, for people that are ready to take action, get started today. I really like action takers, and I rewarded people for pulling the trigger on an opportunity. So here's what I do. Depending on the status of your Google Plus local listing, I either create it or I claim it, all right? And then I'll optimize it for your top keywords. I'm going to handle your keyword research and competitive analysis. All right, my team's going to. All right, I just tell them what to do, okay? Like I mentioned earlier, this is the foundation, though, of getting qualified patients. If you get this part wrong with your research, all the other stuff will be time wasted. Okay, you're going to be showing up in Google for keywords that don't even get search, all right, for what you're looking for, or you won't show up at all. I'm also going to handle your citations because remember that how I told you that a citation, it's like a vote for your Google Plus local listing? I'll get you new votes on a monthly basis that you stay ahead of your competitor. Even if it's not an election year, all right, you still need these votes every single week, every single month. I'm going to handle all your picture marketing, all right? Each one of those is going to be perfectly optimized for your top keywords and then moving on to your secondary keywords. I'm going to optimize your videos. Videos, like I said, phenomenal way to give your Google Plus local listing authority with Google, all right? Even in the places for business that it's shifting to. Now remember, Google owns YouTube, so having 5 optimized videos in your listing increases your ranking. I will even create and optimize your YouTube channel for you if you don't have one, all right? Anything you already have created, I'm just going to optimize. Anything you don't have, I'm going to create it and optimize it that way. Okay, so if you don't have one, or if you do have one, I'll review it, I'll optimize it for you. Now, remember those reviews that I was talking about. With the Nonstop Patient Formula, you can simply get video reviews in your office and then send them to me, all right? I'm going to use them in your video marketing. I'm going to put them on your website for you, all right? You need them throughout your online marketing everywhere. They'll be the #1 item for getting prospective patients to choose you. And then I'm going to use my proprietary process and post them so they actually stay posted and don't get marked as spam and then removed by Google, where they won't do you any good. All right? Maybe you've already had some legitimate reviews get removed already. Not going to happen. Now, how about your website? I'm going to take your current website and I'm going to optimize for rankings. I'm also going to optimize it for conversions. Both of those things are vitally important. Just getting ranked isn't enough. You have to optimize for conversions. Now, let me be real honest with you here as well. There's only so much I can do with some of the canned websites that are out there. If your site really sucks, I'm going to let you know and I'm going to create something new for you. All right, because there's really no sense spending money with me if your website sucks. I mean, because you're wasting money every single day with a non-converting site. I can't tell you that. So take a look at that. Now, beyond that, you're going to get the custom safe linking, backlinking service included as well. So your directories, videos, pages are backlinked. Now listen, again, gradually. It's over months here. And we're going to go as fast as I've possibly found with Google, just short of them having a chance to flag you. Okay? We're not going to create it all immediately so that you get banned by Google. I won't have that happen for my members. Don't let anyone try and smash you straight to the top. All right? Now, it may work short term. It is a horrible practice if you want to stay long term. I have guys that can't even grace. They had to come up with completely new domains because Google flagged that domain. It's not just the website, it's the entire address. All right. Now, probably the most important aspect of this entire package, you're going to get monthly reporting from me. All right. I want you to hold me accountable. The monthly reporting, it's going to have a number of statistics, all right, including ranking reports, and it's going to have traffic reports. It's not a guessing game. I track it all for you so you know it's actually getting done and it's working. And it's really hard to put everything you get on a video slide. So take a look at the detail on this sheet here. Take a look at this. Look right here, all the detail of all the things my team does behind the scenes. This right here is a checklist I've set up for my team. It's ridiculously, it's detailed, it's thorough. The nonstop patient formula it does everything. I mean, to keep your phone ringing month after month, right? And when the online space changes, like it just did, I change with it, all right? I make it so you never have to worry about keeping up with what's happening and what's changing. Look at this. Here, I hover over these, and these are all the details that my team has about what they're supposed to be doing. See how it hovers that, and it'll change here with the competitive analysis. And then you come down for PR distribution of the primary websites. It gives detail for my team of exactly what needs to happen. All right, each one of these has its own rules and stuff that they're supposed to do with that. All right, I literally make it so you can treat your patients and go home to enjoy your family. You enjoy your kids, you enjoy your friends, all right? Maybe you got some hobbies that you haven't been getting to because practice hasn't been busy enough, or you just have too many irons in the fire and you need someone else to take it for you. All right, so if you think the best use of your time is treating patients and you're saying this is exactly what I need for my practice, if you want to dominate your area, push your competitor down the list, you need to click on the button below right now. All right, I only take a handful of new offices each month, and for obvious reasons, I only take one practice city. All right, so let's jump back in the slides. So your question becomes, how much is all this going to cost me, right? And I mean, that sounds like a lot of stuff that I'm getting done here, and you're right, it is a lot of stuff. And like I said, it's very labor intensive to get it set up and to make sure it keeps going on, because all the original content that has to be created, all the different things. Now, I do all this stuff manually. Again, I don't do it personally. My team does this manually. This is not a computer-generated thing where Google slaps people and gets them blacklisted. This is labor-intensive stuff, all right? So let's take a look at your investment. And this has been a major challenge for me, coming up with some pricing that's right for you and it's right for me. Really, you have to understand, I need to make a profit. I'm going to be putting my time into this. And it's no different than you setting really fees for your patients. I mean, you want to be fair and competitive, but you know what you're worth, all right? And I know what I'm worth. So here's what I came up with so that even if the economy has knocked you down a bit, all right, here in the last few years, you can still fit this into your budget. And really, I mean, one way or the other, you can't afford not to put these strategies into place. You might as well get them done quickly and correctly so you can start getting new patients sooner rather than later, okay? So in the past, I charged $39.97 as a setup fee, and then I charged $2,497 per month for the nonstop patient formula. I realized that pricing is just fine for a practice that's doing okay already. I mean, they see a big return on investment. But for chiropractors that are struggling right now, that's a big stretch, all right? A lot of those chiropractors don't even have that much available on their credit card. So I did something drastic. Number one, I completely eliminated the setup fee, all right? No worries about coming up with $4,000 to get started. I also drastically slashed the monthly fee as well. I mean, is that fair to you? Is that all right that I do that? I'm doing the exact opposite of every other so-called, online marketing company by your rankings, all right? I want to make it so that you have no choice but to get started today with the right type of rankings. So your investment for the first month is only $1,497. Told you it was ridiculous. And after that, after the first month, it's still only $1,497 a month. Think about this too, how no-brainer this is. If your average patient worth is $1,500, and that's a national average, you only need to get one new patient and your monthly investment is covered. The rest of the new patients you get from the internet are pure profit. All right, now that makes it doable for every practice. It also makes it really profitable for your practice. All right, now do the math on the examples I just showed you. A couple of my members, like I said, 60 to 100 calls a month. Their monthly investment all of a sudden got pretty cheap, isn't it? Okay, now if you only get 10 calls a month, you'd still be putting a lot of money in your pocket. And that's what I want you to really think about. I don't want you to think about 100 calls a month. I want you to ask yourself, would it be more than worth it if I only got 10 new patients a month from this program? Like I said, based on the national average, $1,500, you get just 10 new patients a month from this strategy, a 10-to-1 return on your investment. Would you be willing to invest one patient to get 10? Are you willing to spend $1,497 to get 15 grand in return? That's a stupid question, isn't it? Of course you would. All right. So you can get started today for only $1,497. All right. No $4,000 setup fee and $1,000 off my normal monthly fee. So simply click on the button below. It's going to take you to a short order form. From there, you're going to be up and running in about 5 to 7 business days. Well on your way to dominating your competitor. I'm not even kidding when I say that. All right. Now, let me talk about my guarantee for a minute. Everyone wants a guarantee. No one wants any risk. I get it, right? I've seen some of the other guys' guarantees. I saw one that said you can get a refund in the first 30 days. Let me tell you something. Why even bother? If you think you're going to see the full benefit in the first 30 days, you're crazy. Like I said, that's someone trying to slam you to the top, and they may get you some results, but the second month on, hold on, watch out, okay? I'm just being honest with you. I don't want you to be disappointed. This is a long-term strategy to dominating your local market and making you a leader in your market long-term, all right? It's not a game of patty cake that you just expect to happen overnight, okay? And that may not be for everyone, all right? If it's not for you, that's okay. Someone else can promise you amazing rankings in the first week. But I can promise you one thing. You won't find another person or company out there that can offer what I do with the Nonstop Patient Formula. So here's my guarantee for you. Everyone has different expectations. But if after 6 months of service you just aren't happy, listen to that. If you aren't happy, I'll continue working for free until you are happy. Now you heard that right. It's up to you to tell me if you're happy. All right? If you get 10 new patients every month, I know you'll be happy. If you get 20 every month, I know you'll be really happy. All right? Everything else is just gravy. But if you're not, I'll work for free until you're happy. All right? So if you're ready, simply click on the button below, grab your spot. Okay? Let's talk about these fast action bonuses. These bonuses are only good for you if you get started in the next 24 hours. Okay? So do your due diligence right now. Get all your questions answered right away. Email me, text me, call me. Make a good choice. Get the bonuses. Okay? I will, as a bonus, do regular Facebook posting to your fan page. Okay? You can get way more fans and patients from Facebook. So regular posting on your fan page, great way. It keeps your current fans engaged and returning to your office. I'll do it all for you, okay? I'll also do all the optimization of your Facebook fan page for you, okay? So that can get ranked. That's also a great way. Bonus number 2, you're going to get my patient retention formula. I'm going to provide you with a direct response patient newsletter. You're going to get weekly emails for your current patients. I have doctors that have doubled their practice with this program alone, the patient retention formula. Okay, you're going to get it absolutely free if you pull the trigger in the next 24 hours. Click on the button below, grab your spot. You know what? While we're doing, I want to give you a quick peek at something. I've got some software that I use for my members, okay? And it does, and obviously I'm going to use it for you. It does a competitive analysis and tells me who's winning in your city. This gives me gives me an unfair advantage, huge advantage over your competition. Take a look at this. All right, so I just did a competitive analysis for chiropractor in Lincoln, Nebraska. I mean, that's where I used to live. Take a look at what this software does. It shows me the top listings in Google Plus Local. All right, that's for Lincoln. All right, but that's nothing, right? I mean, you can do that by searching in Google. Here's what it really does. It does the competitive research about your top competitors. And if I know what they're doing, all I have to do is what they're doing plus a little bit more than them, and I win. So I can plug your practice right in here against your competitor and see where your competitor or where your practice is lagging compared to your competitor. All right, then I simply do more in those areas to get you ahead of your competitor. This is a completely unfair advantage for me. All right, so here's what it shows me. Take a look at this. Right here is, like I said, the top 7. And again, this I don't work for any of these doctors, so I'm not showing you anything that's proprietary and everything else. Those are the top 7 that show up in Google for the search chiropractor Lincoln. Now, what I did is with this one, this top listing, this is the competitive analysis. I went in and I just chose someone at random, grabbed their Google Plus listing, and I analyzed it against it. So what does it show me across here? It shows me their citations. Remember that. Name, address, phone number. Shows me their Google reviews. Remember how important those are? Someone has 20 reviews. So they might actually be getting more attention and more action from prospective patients, even being ranked number 3 than the top one because it's showing they don't have any reviews. Shows me any third-party sites, summaries, the details of those sites. It tells me about their sites and about their reviews. Keywords in the reviews, all right? We do a little bit of tricky stuff when it comes to reviews. We don't change it. These are legitimate reviews that you provide, but we can do some tricky stuff with them. Now look at this one, description. You should be using your keywords in your description. All right, there's chiropractor in Lincoln. Again, that's for the number 3 spot. They have the reviews, so they're probably doing some things right. They might be on the climb on this one. I don't know when this, where they were last week or anything else. Let's scroll over. Keywords, images, videos. Again, so this one might have the newer one where you get more images, but look at this, 0 images. It's a wonder they're even ranking first. Categories, these are real important. You get more categories now, but even in the, I'd say the older, the Google Places, the one they're shifting to, you get 5 categories. The most anyone has is 2. This is ridiculous. Shows me all these different things. Shows me, we talked about backlinks. All right, they have 376 backlinks. They might not be very good backlinks. They also might have junk for optimization. Sorry, I went all the way across. For the optimization of their homepage or anything else. All right, it just shows me a lot of information in here. Now take a look at this. We talked about the citations, how important it is to get them. What I'm going to take a look at here is a couple different things. One is these are my competitors' citations. Do you think that's valuable information to know what your competitors have? Yeah, I simply go out and get them. But here's even better. Here's his citations, and here are the citations that this doctor that I did the analysis for, like I do for yours, here's the ones that are needed. So it's not like I have to worry about going and getting all these. I just need to go get the ones that are needed. So that means I'm going to end up with at least as many as the top one, and then I just do a little more, and I have more citations. Extremely, extremely valuable. I can beat your competitors even in the biggest cities because I know what they have. Then I simply do more. All right, I do exactly what they have, and then I do more. This is cool stuff. I get really excited about this, just knowing what they have and being able to figure that out. I have another piece of software that goes even a little bit deeper. It's still developing because I can see this side by side of what your listing is doing compared to theirs. All right? Now, let me ask you again. Do you see why I can dominate? Okay. So if you want to grab new patients every single week from a virtual endorsement from Google, and you want me to do all the work for you with the Nonstop Patient Formula, all small investment, $14.97 per month, which is, it's only about one new patient. Click on the link below to get started. All right, do it before your competitor does and locks you out. You have a chance to lock them out. And really, you only need one new patient every month to break even. I mean, after everything I just showed you, do you think the Nonstop Patient Formula can get you one new patient every month? Do you think you can get 10 new patients every month? I don't care who you are. That's a phenomenally, it's a crazy good return on investment. All right, that's all I've got for you. Like I said, if you do have questions, you can email me at jeff@doctorswellsecrets.com. That's Jeff at doctors, spelled out, DOCTORS, wealthsecrets.com, or you can give me a call, shoot me a text. Number is 402-631-7731. 402-631-7731. All right. I hope you got a tremendous amount of value from the training. All right. Just remember, don't be one of the 80% that walks away and does nothing. All right. So either click the link below or get busy, put in the required time, get this done. This is where practice building is going, and this is where your patients are going. All right. I suggest you click on the link below. Do it before your competitor. Make sure you get started within the next 24 hours as well to get the bonuses. They're worth over $500 every single month. All right, the bonuses alone will make you more profitable. All right, we'll talk to you soon.